Greetings all, it's Blue Knight, and welcome back to the Legend of Zelda, Twilight Princess. Previously, we completed all the side stuff that we can possibly do right now, thanks to getting the Shadow Crystal a while back to help us access all that when we acquired the Master Sword. And now we can finally make tracks for the desert area. But before we do that, today we're going to spend a couple of minutes showing how I got all the rupees I needed to get the armor at Balamart before we actually acquired said armor, and then we could go for the desert. Because the places I was able to hit, they were pretty interesting. So interesting that I wanted to actually show off where they are. The first one's gonna be in the fog area here in Farron Woods. And over here was a big chest that I had to miss out on before because we were following the monkey back then. And that one had a purple rupee inside it. I actually didn't know you could re-enter this area until I thought about using the lantern, which turns out you can go through this entire place on your own. But then again, you will have the Shadow Crystal at this point, so why even bother? The other chest I want to find was right here. This is what I actually missed out on by accident, so that's why I went back to get it right now, and that was a red rupee. The next item we can get is that treasure chest located underneath this bridge in the center of the Farron province. I was actually planning to get this a lot sooner when we were doing all of our side questing stuff, but I forgot about it. It's thankful that I did because I kinda need the rupees right now. Or at least I'm showing you how you can get the rupees to afford the big armor back at Balamart. And this was a big one. It had 100 rupees inside it in the form of an orange rupee. Remember, you need the hookshot to actually get to this one though, because if you don't, then you can't hook onto those targets. Our rupee gathering continues in the Eldin province, specifically in Kakariko village. I want to show this off very quickly. If you come into this village during the daytime as wolf form, everyone's going to go back into their houses and all shops are going to be closed until you leave this village by way of the graveyard or one of the entrances slash exits that takes you back to Hyrule Field. It doesn't really matter if you do this or not, because you'll be able to get this next monetary item regardless of the environment. Just be in human form and make sure that you have bomb arrows equipped. That way, you can launch a bomb arrow inside this village bell, and look what drops out. This is a silver rupee worth 200 on its own. These are very rare to come by in this game. I think there's a handful of these that you can find as pickups, but they are very worthwhile in collecting if you need to rack up some funds fast. I mean, look at that. We're already, I say, over halfway to the armor price that we need to reach. And it's unfortunate that everyone hightailed it back into their house, so we scared them, because that means the Kuko's not here either, which is gonna be needed for accessing the next rupee that we can find in this village. But before we do that, while I was going around off screen and finding all these interesting spots to fill up your wallet for rupee grinding, I did remember that some time ago there was a little hidden area over here underwater that we accessed prior to getting the sword armor before. I think we didn't have the water bombs at the time either, when we were last here. I also fiddled around with my bomb bags a bit, because I didn't think I needed water bombs anymore, but turns out I did, so I got 2 bags full of regular bombs and a partial filling of water bombs for the third, which is what I ended up with before I started rupee grinding, so I just kind of wasted money for nothing. I thought I could sell off rupees, which, speaking of rupees, this one had a purple one inside it, nice. I thought I could sell off my bombs in the event that I didn't need them for the desert area that's going to be coming up, but it turns out that I actually do need them, at least the regular bombs. Water bombs, they're kind of expendable at this point, but remember, you can use those both on land and underwater, so they're still pretty advantageous to you. I just found out that you can enter this building, which I believe is classified as the Church of Kakariko, to make everyone reappear again after you scare them off the first time. And as mentioned before, you need the only Kuko that you can find in this village for the next rupee that we can find. At least one that's not underwater. Carry the Kuko up here. This is gonna be on the long way to the hot spring on the roof of the Eld Inn. Just make your way all the way up top like so. You can see that here's the aforementioned hot spring. Oh, so that could go here. Okay, there's 2 of them in this case. I thought there was just the one. That's still pretty convenient actually, because regardless, you need to use the Kuko to fly over to the other roof across from the inn. And then make your way up to the crow's nest. That's the watchtower that's above the broken bomb depot that we blew up a long time ago. And next to that Goron that you can use to get even higher up the crow's nest is that there's a chest right behind it somewhat. Use the Kuko to fly over to this little piece of land. You can't walk onto that slope, so target that area when you're flying over here. At that point, you can dispatch the Kuko, because opening this chest will contain another orange rupee. And don't worry about the fall. You'll be able to survive. I mean, you lose half a heart of it, which actually lands us conveniently on the footstep of Death Mountain, which is where we'll be heading to next. So make your way up Death Mountain until you reach the second Goron on your way up it. Because believe it or not, he's gonna be helpful in finding the next batch of rupees that you can find for grinding up for the armor. So talk to him, and you have to get here by the long way. You can warp as far as Kakariko to get close to Death Mountain from what I read up, but don't warp to Death Mountain itself, otherwise you have to do a little bit of backtracking. So get up to this Goron's back, and then target over to the ledge over here where we found one of the posts recently. You'll be able to land on top of the ledge, and in doing so, for some reason, you'll be able to find an orange rupee when you pick up a rock. And this isn't the only rock on this patch of land. There are multiple rocks here, and by getting up to this patch by way of the Goron helping you, you'll be able to find at least 4 rocks here, each of them holding a red rupee, which is worth 20 apiece. I read up online that there might be a chance you can find 100 rupees here, so I guess people thought there'll be 5 rocks that you can find here. Maybe there was before one of the previous versions, and one of them got removed for some reason. But from what I've been able to find, you can only find 4 of them here. It's still really a plenty of cash that you can find, though. So either way, you're not really losing out. And we already reached over the limit we need to buy the magic armor, but I'm not done yet. Our last stop is going to reside at Lake Hylia. We're not going to be entering the desert yet because we can enter the Lanayru Spring and dive underwater. Turns out there's a couple of boulders and a couple of chests as well that we can find that can help us gather even more cash. This is one place I tend to miss out on a lot when it comes to getting some rupees until like late game-ish because I just never think to come here whenever I am looking to get some funds. But turns out that there are some rewards that you can get while investigating the Lanayru's spring a bit. You'd think this would be like a story-centric area and there would be a lot of value to looking around, but it turns out that there is some things you can pick up if you just, like I said, look around a bit. And make sure to have the Zora armor and some water bombs here too, obviously. This is the Lanayru area after all, and it is kind of water heavy if you know anything about Lanayru and its specific history among the Zelda franchise. Kind of revolves around that concept. But that's not all we can find here. There's actually one very important item I want to get here before during one of our previous trips when we were Poe hunting, but of course I forgot about that because I was just too focused on collecting souls. What you have to do is climb up here, and then come over to this door. It may not look like it, but you can open it. And make sure to have your lantern out too. We'll place that. So you can light up some torches among some more chests as well. The small chests, they don't have that much to gain. One of them specifically is a blue rupee, which is this one. And the other chest beside the big one is gonna be some regular bombs. The big one, of course, is the one you want to keep your eye on the most because that has another piece of heart in it. And by doing so, we have created another heart container, which means we've started our second row of hearts, thereby rounding it up to 11 hearts in total. I was expecting to get this a while ago, but like I said, I forgot because I was just so focused on pole hunting before. The website I used to find all these rupee spots that I showed you just now was called zeldaspalace.com. So if you want to look up any of the rupee spots that you want to uncover, if you're in the need to get some money, that's a good source. I was about to turn in the rupees to Mallow when I remembered that there's a chest you can miss in the cavern where we got the piece of heart stamp. On the second, I think it's the second gravity pole that you can land on. There's gonna be the doggo. That's supposed to be here. He's supposed to be on the left side of this little platform because it was guarding a chest. And inside this chest contains a red rupee. So if you're looking for a little more cash to get on hand, even though you should have enough by now to get the magic armor, well, that's where you can get a little more space in your wallet filled up. And that's all the rupees that you can get to afford the magic armor. And now we're finally back at Malamart, listening to the song of our people. Hey, I know who's gonna rule Hyrule one day. I mean, look at this kid. Mallow has already expanded his empire by stashing a shop in Castletown. So I am very confident that baby is gonna rule this land someday. And I ain't gonna stand against that guy who has what it takes to become a future emperor. I want to be on the right side of history. And the right side of history says that Mallow someday is gonna become the new overlord of Hyrule. Just you wait. So we're finally back at his place in Castletown, at least his shop, part of his branch. And finally, we have more than enough rupees to get the magic armor. The reason why I have a little less rupees now is that I forgot to get the stamp again, so I bought that off screen. But now we have that in our possession, as well as this, the magic armor, the final armor set in the game. Look how cool this is, or at least how it looks. You would be so stubborn if you want to pass on something as regal looking as this. Even the shop owner, Chun-Li, he's impressed by our ability to afford this. And now we have the one-of-a-kind magic armor. You bought it! You are smart! You bought it at Mellow Mart! Word and your rupees become magical. This armor will protect you, so if you get hit, you lose rupees, not health. You could probably guess that... Oh, there's also a different catch to this. If you're out of rupees, the armor will go dormant and your movement will be impaired, which means you will not be able to move as fast as you normally would it if you do have rupees to fuel that armor. Thank you for your patronage. Shop again sometime. I was not just gonna say something. Alright, I was gonna say that it probably surprised you that in all the versions of the game, this was the only way you could drain your rupees down if you want to get all the chests that actually had rupees in it but couldn't fit into your wallet. And that's what I did when I played this on the Wii. It was pretty stupid though. At least you had a method to drain your wallet, but still. That doesn't mean it did take quite a bit of time to do that every time you ran to a chest that you couldn't fit into your wallet because it was maxed out. And it may not surprise you to learn about this fact, is that Mallow was apparently a very popular character among the dev team, hence why he got his own shop. You can also, hang on a second, before I forget to do this, I know for a fact I also tested this out when I was making my rounds the first time on grinding rupees. Is that I did mention some time ago there is a way you can scare the residents of Castletown and the guards too. I think I may have mentioned that as well, or I probably didn't. But I know for a fact you can do this. First off, you can come over to this spot near Tummle's Bar and change into wolf form. I guess I was just having bad timing the last time I was trying to do that. Good to know I wasn't crazy to think that wasn't working and my mind was I had like a Mandela effect or something. So we're going to Central Square to show this off really fast. Is that not only can you just scare people and the soldiers by just romping around the place, but you can also have soldiers crowd about you. They'll come out of various openings. You can see they're already trying to crowd against me, but they won't try to attack you no matter what because they're that dang scared of you. There is a limit to how many soldiers can crowd around you, but if you get enough of them around and use your spin attack, I'm just gonna wait till they're all over here first. I saw that guy pop in. I never actually seen that happen before when I was near a door in wolf form. Thankfully, you can approach the same doorway over and over again to have more of the soldiers come by. They will appear like various other openings as well, but it's best to do this if you want to get all the soldiers to crowd around you as quick as possible. I'm surprised there's still more. Maybe it's because I'm just abusing the one opening over and over again, but this can work. It just takes a little longer than usual, I guess. I think I got the max amount of soldiers now following me. And they will follow you around, but still will try to do anything against you. No matter how long that you do remain in the same area that you do have the soldiers crowding against you. So get to the center of them. And you can do a spin attack, like so. To scare them all off, and you'll get various items if you're lucky enough that the soldiers do drop. Like hearts, ammo, and rupees. You don't get a whole lot of any of those items though, but it is a neat small trick that you can abuse if you want to get a little bit of cash on hand. And you can see that some of them do cower in the corner too. They're that scared against you that they're so petrified with fear that they can't move anywhere. But just X them out of the screen for a minute or two, and they disappear. That's like the game's way of erasing them so it can, just save data and storage on any other assets you can use. Just typical game program mechanic stuff. I also didn't know that time passed when you were in Castletown too, because I saw the sun that was starting to set a little bit when I was in Castletown. That's something I didn't know about. I actually thought time stood still when you were in that settlement. This has taken us quite a trek to go around the land of Hyrule, at least that place we can go to thus far, to get all the stuff that we can possibly obtain up until this point. So with all the side stuff now taken care of, we can finally progress with the main story and make tracks for the desert area. So like Aru mentioned before, show the memo he gave you to fire as a regular item like so. Well, Aru, huh? Ah well, I guess I ought to do what the old coot says. Oasis Flight, right? So, here you go, one of our secret options not available to the general public. This time's all paid for, so what do you say? Wanna go? Alrighty then. But remember, next time, you gotta pay. Sweet sailing, buddy of mine. One for Oasis. Fire the hole! Just enter the cannon like usual, and fire will take care of the rest. Welcome everyone to the Gerudo Desert, at long last. Wait, Link. Before we go on, there's something I want you to hear. Do you remember what the spirit said about the fused shadows? What do you think happened to the magic wielders who tried to rule the sacred realm? They were banished. They were chased across the secret lands of Hyrule and driven into another realm by the goddesses. It was another world entirely, the antithesis of Hyrule, where the sun shines bright. Its denizens became shadows that could not mingle with the light. Eventually, most came to call it the Twilight Realm, and from it, none could return to the world of light. They were forever doomed to live in the twilight, fading in the half-light of dusk, mere shadows of Hyrule. This is the history of the Twilight as it has been passed down by our ancestors. Do you now understand what I am? I'm a descendant of the tribe that was banished in the Twilight Realm. It was a peaceful place until Zack took control of the Twilight Realm and transformed all the Twilight into shadow beasts. It's clear to me now that he somehow gained a great evil power previously unknown to our tribe. In any case, I was sent from there, and could no longer get into the Twilight Realm without its power. But there's another tale told by my people. Though the goddesses forbade us to return to the world of light, they left one link between the light and the darkness. Something called the Mirror of Twilight was passed to the protectors of Hyrule. It's our only path to the Twilight Realm, and we must get there. You'll come with me, won't you? Again, Midna, I know it's not her intention, but there's just some moments in that cutscene we got that she just looks really cute as heck. I'm sorry, but I said it before and I'll say it again. That's just one of her charms. Midna's just really precious to look at. But she's not just adorable to look at, she's also very formidable, as we have seen time and again. And she'll continue to be formidable for us in her quest to, I guess, defeat Zant once and for all and bring some sort of peace back to the Twilight. We're already— oh my god! I did not expect to encounter that so soon. I was gonna say already we're encountering our first enemy in the desert region. That being the Moldorms. Just pull them out of the sand when you see them burrow around with the claw shot and slash with your sword. As we also saw that if you're lucky enough, you can also run into a giant Moldorm, or I guess a big one. I'm pretty sure there have been more Moldorms that were way bigger than that. And over here, we can quickly see that there's our 30th Poe among that triangle of skulls. And this time, I'm gonna be careful to approach it. There we go. And then rip its soul out like always. Just like that, we're halfway there to collecting all the souls in the game. There's also hovering above a dig spot that we can go into. Oh god, more Skuttles. I see some bots too, but I'm gonna turn the human form and use our blade to vanquish these things. I swear, this would be an arachnophobic's worst nightmare. I know it would be my bad dream coming true, because I don't like spiders one bit. Even though I heard that can be good for the environment, like eating smaller insects and such. I don't like them. Just keep away from me and we'll be fine. That's my rule. Gotta deal with these guys from before. I'm pretty sure this might be the main objective. I'm not too sure. But while we're dealing with these guys, I'd like to speak about Aru a little bit more. In the Japanese version, it was actually mentioned that Aru, the guy who helped us get to this region to begin with, turned out to be a tutor for Zelda when she was younger in that version of the game, which is a really neat and appropriate detail to him, because he does look like the mentor type. And look at that, we got ourselves a huge value right there, an orange rupee. Nice. I was not really expecting a stamp, to be honest, but I would be kind of miffed if it was a stamp, because we really need money, especially if we want to put that new magic armor to use. We won't do it right away, maybe until we're like halfway filled up with our wallet, then I will go ahead and use it. I really don't have that much of a use for money now, since we got the most expensive stuff in the game, at least as far as I remember, with all the donation business we did for Malamart. So chances are there should be nothing as cost effective as funding for Malamart from here on out. Which means the only other main purpose we can use the money, at least besides from buying stuff, is to use it to fuel the magic armor. And so we have to head forward over to that landmark over there. You may have actually recognized that before. We may have seen that in another realm, but that's not the only thing that we can find here at the Desert Province. We can also see far off in the background over there, there's a slab of stone sticking out of the ground. Hey, another big Moldorm. I want to slay that before we let that go, because it might give us something valuable. Even though I don't really think the Moldorms give anything that useful still. I don't usually come across giant Moldorms whenever I'm trekking around through this province. I think we'll head over to that giant slab first. Another giant one. Maybe they're just as common as the smaller Moldorms. Then I'll probably get lucky. No matter what, they'll just keep infinitely coming after you, so it's best to avoid the Moldorms as much as you can. They're essentially health or money fodder if you want to deal with them. Alright, so now we're gonna head over there. And just as I thought, along the way, we could find another insect that's hanging out here in the desert. How I was able to survive? I guess just accustomed to this kind of environment. Let's grab that right away. And that is a male dayfly. Hang on a second. I think I may have forgot something on the way that we did get that 30th Poe. As you can also imagine this being a desert, as you can see the castle, the Hylian Castle, the Hyrule Castle still trapped off in the background over there. Again, very nice detail that they keep that everlasting reminder of what you're really fighting for. I was gonna say that if you can see that this is a desert, so you're gonna be having kind of a tough time trekking around here for a bit. You really got no other clear way how to do it like faster, so you got to just roll as much as you can to get across the desert as fast as you can. Almost left that red ruby behind too. And that should be all I want to get for now. No, wait. There's a thing flying up above there. That's a P-hat. Those used to be enemies back in Ocarina of Time, but they're only present in the Hyrule field. The main part of it, if I remember that correctly. But here, they're not going to be enemies. They're more as floating anchor points. Would be a better way to describe them as soon as I can latch onto one. Unfortunately, we're gonna wait for it to come around back to get that chest over there. And these things can move pretty slow too. I guess while we're waiting, we can actually talk about something related to Midna. Is that we heard her talk throughout the most part of this game. And it turns out that there's a little trick that they did use to make her quote-unquote dialogue, at least her voice dialogue, is that her lines are actually scrambled up. And there is some footage online that does show or hear what Midna, her VA, is actually saying. And it turns out to be just regular sentences. I don't remember the words actually being that memorable. It's just stuff they wanted to make the VA say so they can scramble it up later to make her sound like her own language and her own character, I suppose. But that's a neat little trick that they did make to have Midna speak in her own way. Well, make that slab of stone over there our ultimate end goal. I just want to trek around this part of the desert as much as I can to make sure I'm not missing anything else. You can see there's a little camp over there in the background too. You're gonna find quite a few things in this desert. Despite the fact that this is a desert region, there are a few things you can do, and they're pretty exciting things that you can interact with. So, in my mind, it's a step up from your usual boring desert-like area. I'm normally not a fan of these kind of locales in the game, but this is a little better than most because the stuff that you can find around are actually pretty dang fun to do with. There you go. I should catch that one very quickly. There are a few peahats floating around the place too, so they'll act as transports of sorts to get across large gaps that you can't auto-jump across otherwise. Or just be lazy like me, don't want to walk around the corner like that. There's a barricade over there, but we can't do anything about that. I guess another good way to get across the desert faster is to go into wolf form and... Oh, there's a chest over there. But I'm gonna need something to break down that barricade. Is to go into wolf form and run around faster that way, because, like I said before, 4 legs do beat 2. And these boulders are actually taking quite a bit of a health away from me. So there's a chest over there. I know that's a valuable one that we can't get, but we don't have the means to actually access that chest right now, so we'll have to leave that alone. Already gonna be finding something to backtrack to later on. As of course we don't have all the things that we have in our inventory at this point in the game yet. It kinda goes without saying. I mean, this desert is a new area that we just got to. Oh, hello there. That we just got to, so it makes sense that we still have quite a bit of the land of Hyrule to actually investigate. Leave me alone! No interest in you right now. I just want that other insect, which is gonna be the female Dayfly that we can get to partner up with the male one we just got a few minutes ago. Yeah, it's got to. Oh, wait, there it is. Both of them are just nuisances, just distractions if anything else. There we go. Uh-oh. Oh, that's quite a time to get that. Link is not gonna be very happy about that Molten coming down its head. Yeah, got him just in time. You know what? I'm gonna take all of you out because you were trying to snatch that Dayfly from me. I'm not the kind to forget very easily, as you may have probably have told based on my mannerisms throughout the years, time again. And see what I mean? These Moldorfs just won't leave you alone even for a second. So let me get over there. But like I said, I want to focus on the slab of stone. That's my main priority at the moment. And I do see a chest over there in the background. I think we can use that P-hat to get to it, but it's flowing away right now. Yep, it's flowing away. Oh, another giant one. I'm gonna chop you up. Get over here. Yeah! Can't stop me. A million more to come my way, but I'll slice them up one at a time. At least they'll kill time to make sure that P-hat does come around again. It's all my way to entertain myself. There we go. I was able to fight off enough Moldorfs that they stopped spawning around me. I guess I was just near the edge of that cliff that it didn't really register that would be an area that they could constantly spawn to come after me. That's what I'm thinking, but I'll take it. I'll take that small victory. I just really want to get this chest. It may not be anything grand in the bigger picture, but I want to get that chest right now so I don't have to get it later. And this P-hat's one of the slower ones too that you have to wait for. At least it'll be worth it. That's what I thought. It would be another chest, or stamp rather, contain the highly letter R. I don't remember what that replaces off the top of my head. Used to be a purple rupee. We'll just wait till it circles around back, so we can actually end off with that slab of stone, and we'll stop the episode at that point for today, because I feel like we've seen quite enough, even though we just started with exploring the desert. It being a desert area, there's still going to be quite a few places we can hit to actually see it in its entirety. I just want to get a good look at Link's face for a moment because I just realized he's not very happy taking this ride. I'm guessing this Link is not a fan of heights, and you know what? I don't blame him. I myself am not the biggest fan of heights either. I'm actually really afraid of them. But I think it's more annoying than anything is how long the ride it took to get over from one place to the next because of how slow these P-hats can be. So we'll roll our way over here, dusting up our clothes all the while. Man, Link is gonna have like sand in every orifice of his attire for like the next few weeks. And that's like the best case scenario. Might end up being months before his entire tunic is cleared up of any sand. So we'll head over here. And this acts as a portal warp for our Shadow Crystal ability. But in order to actually access these portals, well, it's like before, we just gotta deal with all the Shadow Beasts. Coming across more occasions that we can deal with these Shadow Beasts in our human form too, to get all of those with that spin. But I want to show that since you have the Master Sword, the spin move charges. Crap. Damn it. I thought I could get that before that Shadow Beast would roar in time. Let's take this out first. I was about to say that since you have the Master Sword, our spin move charges even faster than before. I might actually run a quick comparison with our regular sword to see just how fast the charge for that spin would take. It won't take that long, so we can switch off between swords very quickly, like that. So if you ever wanted to not use your Master Sword for any reason, well, you have that option, so if you have yourself a little bit of a challenge. I'm not sure why you want to do that, unless you do get challenge run. But hey, you got that option. Link doesn't really throw this away, he just keeps it and I guess forgets about it because he's got the better blade. So you can see that it's fairly quick on the charge, but not as fast as the Master Sword, if you ask me. I mean, look at this. That's like almost half the time it takes for the regular charge for that other blade that we had would take. I also found out... We're not gonna work here. I also found out that if you're quick enough, you can actually make the charge like recool or reheat. Not reheat. Finish up on its cooldown if you're able to get the spin to charge again after he like finishes up with the last spin. I think it's gonna work if you make contact with an object or an enemy, and you'll be able to get the next spin charged up right away. It's a pretty cool and handy move that you can use if you want to abuse the spin move a little bit. Oh, see right there. You gotta be standing still in order for that to work. So by walking and then making him charge, that's how it works. I thought it was only just making contact with an enemy afterwards that you could do the spin move, but it's just by walking and holding the B button down and right as you stop, you can make the spin charge up very fast. Nice. So that's how it works. Well, that's all I want to show for today, as the sun is setting here on the Gerudo Desert. But not on our adventure. We still have a long way to go before we're able to find the Mirror of Twilight, which is somewhere in this province. But we're gonna do a little bit of digging around in order to find it. So next time, we're gonna investigate this giant slab of stone to see what we could do with it. And then afterwards, head off for yonder over there at that Colosseum structure of sorts. We're not sure what lies inside, but it might be the place where we can find the Mirror of Twilight. Until we meet again, farewell for now.